Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, and welcome to what might be a long video. If it gets too long, I'll divide it into two parts. But today I'm here to talk to you about the Book of the Month Club books that are on my backlist. If you've been watching for a while recently, you know that one of my goals in 2025 is to read my backlist down. And one of the biggest areas of backlist, not the biggest, but it's big, is my Book of the Month Club books that are unread. And I have them all, you can see, so I've pulled some, right? I have them all on this shelf, and the ones that are laying up here, for the most part, have been read. There's a couple that aren't Book of the Month Club books, but they're here because another author is, and they're kind of also grouped here. But essentially, the ones that I'm going to talk about today are the Book of the Month Club books that I bought or that I bought from other places. They're Book of the Month Club books, but I maybe didn't get them from Book of the Month Club, right? Okay, so that if they have a Book of the Month Club mark on them, they're in this list of 25 books. I feel really bad saying that to you. Now, how many are maybe not purchased by Book of the Month? 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. I did not purchase. They were either given to me or they were acquired on Pango or something like that. So, and I don't mind buying Book of the Month Club books from Pango. In fact, I may start listing some of them after I read them. We'll just see. But 25 of them. My goal is to read at least one Book of the Month Club book a month, which would get me 12 off this list. Obviously, I'm going to probably buy other Book of the Month Club books in the year 2025 as well. So I'm not going to do this every 25. I'm not going to commit to that. I am, though, going to allow the possibility that I will read more than one in a month. It just kind of depends on what else I read and what my other goals are, which you're going to start seeing little by little as I start filming these videos. Let's get started. You can see I've taken them off my shelf, so I have them all here. I am going to give you just sort of an understanding of what genre they are and maybe a little bit about a short blurb about each one, perhaps. Let's get started. All right, let's go from left to right. This one was gifted to me by my friend Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand. This is Darling Girl by Liz Michalski. This is a retelling of Peter Pan, so fantasy. I can't remember if she didn't like it and didn't finish it, or if she did finish it. That came out in May of 2022. This is also fantasy. Alex E. Harrow, Starling House. People love, love, love her. A girl house sits for a reclusive author, and something happens. Sinister forces. I don't want to know what they are. My Murder by Katie Williams. I don't know why I haven't read this. This is about a woman who's a victim of a serial killer, and she's brought back to life as a bit of a robot or an alternate kind of a thing, and she solves her own murder, the serial killer. This Close to Okay, people really have mixed feelings about. Two strangers, one of them is about to jump off of a bridge, the other one is a therapist. She stops him. Something occurs in their relationship as a result. The Ministry of Time by Kaylee Bradley. This is fairly new. This one came out in May of 2024. This is a kind of an Outlander-esque vibe. This is about a woman who discovers a man who comes back from 1847, and he becomes her housemate, and I guess she's trying to study what happened to him. I don't know why I haven't gotten to many of these. Let me move this stack because I have to make room for the next stack. Gentleman in Moscow, Amor Tolls. Gosh darn, I've tried to read this a number of times. A man who is arrested and is forced to stay in a hotel for his sentencing. The Family, Naomi Krupitsky. This is a mob family saga. Two daughters, two families, one inescapable fate. I love books about mafia folks, and I've not gotten to it. The Hacienda by Isabel Canas. This one is a gothic thriller mystery about Rodolfo and Beatrice. And people love it, and I love her, and I don't know why. I'll stop saying that. There's no reason why, right? The London Seance Society, Sarah Penner. This is the second. If I read this by her, 1873, Victorian London, a spiritualist. I loved the first book by her, which was The Lost Apothecary. I like that a lot. People say this one isn't as good. We'll see. I do need to just get to it. This is so sad. Meg Waite Clayton is one of my favorite authors. The Postmistress of Paris. This is a historical novel, and it's about Nene, who is in the early days of the German occupation of France and what she does as a result of that. This one I may unhaul and not read, but I may give it another chance. This is a maybe. This will probably be the one that I start to try first, and if I'm not there, I'm not there. Age of Vice, Deepti Kapoor. I love this woman. She's a lovely author. This came out January 2023. I was really anticipating it. It's a pretty chunky book. I tried it. I wasn't getting into it, but this is also about a mafia kind of situation, but they're in New Delhi. And I don't know. I just couldn't at that time. So I may try it again just to see. What's Mine and Yours by Naima Koster. I didn't look to see. I don't know how to pronounce that. North Carolina community. Two students who are of different races start to have a connection to each other, I think, and there's a divide and something occurs between these parents and these kids, as I remember. Part of Your World, Abby Jimenez. This one is the first in this series of three, I think, or four, and this is about relationships, obviously. And I skipped ahead and read Just for the Summer before I read that one. And this one I also have, which was a gifted one from Book of the Month. This was the Book of the Year in 2023, Yours Truly. So this is another couple and what happens to them. I think they're authors, yes, or they're letter writers. This is ridiculously high. The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. This is about a woman who I think her husband has died or she's divorced. She's lost her husband. Kate is in a bit of a mess. She ends up going on a trip and the flight shifts some way, and it's I think a coming of acceptance kind of a story, but I think this was last year too that I got it. Let's see when this came out. Yeah, last year when that came out. This one I have a translation guide as well. This is The Devil Takes You Home. As I remember, this is about a man whose child is ill and he's trying to find the money to be able to take care of his son's medical bills, and he makes some choices. So this one is written by Gabino Iglesias, and I would love to finish that one because it's always sounded really good to me. All right, let me move this stack and then I'll get to the last stack. Oh my gosh. There's no way I'm ever going to hold these up. You know that, right? The Collective by Allison Galen. This one was the book of the month for November of 2021. I acquired this from my child, maybe? I don't remember how I acquired this, but okay, this one is about people who are asked to, these mothers share their stories, and they have a collective that carries out some activities that are in retribution for something that's happened to children, I think, is the way I remember it. Dearest by Jackie Walters. This was a recent one. This is October of 2024. New mom and her mother comes to help, and her mother perhaps is not a good person, or maybe something sinister happens after mom comes to help. I don't know, but it sounds great. The Wedding People by Alison Esbach. This was a very anticipated read for me. I haven't started it. I will say that I saw her I've said this before, but I saw her in an interview, and she immediately sort of said something that I didn't know was going to happen that was not in the synopsis. And so I got a little mad about that, but I still want to read it because people do seem to be enjoying it very much. That one came out in August of 2024. All the Colors of the Dark, Chris Whitaker. This is a weird one because it's set in 1975, so it's historical fiction. A daughter is targeted, a local boy saves her, but I think there's also a serial killer premise to this some way, and I don't know how that happens, but I know that people love, love, love this book. That one is one of my priorities because that's going to fit another kind of goal that I have too. So I don't know why my face is itching so much lately, but it is. I think it's my makeup. These I acquired from a different source, but this is Alice Hoffman's Magic Lessons. This is the prequel to Practical Magic, which really interests me. This came out in October of 2020. I think I got this one I got at my friend's little used bookstore. Did I get this one there too? I did. This one came out in November of 2017. This is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. So this is about the Owens family in 1600. So I guess this is a prequel to Practical Magic too, but one of you is going to have to tell me which one I read first because they both say they're prequels to Practical Magic. I'm sure I can look it up, but if you know, if you've read them, tell me in the comments below which one I need to go with first. This one was given to me, I think. I don't remember how I got this one, but Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayburn. It is kill or be killed, but they've been at this a long time. I think these are older people. Yes, they were assassins for 40 years, and they work at a museum. Now, I need to read this one soon because I have an arc by Deanna Rayburn, which I need to read, and that's the second in this, and it comes out May, maybe 2025, so I need to get to that. Middle of the Night, Riley Sager. I love Riley Sager. Horror, always good. This is about two boys who are camping in the yard, and the one boy wakes up and the other boy is gone. So what happened to him is the focus of this book. And I love Riley Sager. Generally, I really like him a lot. I don't know why I haven't gotten to this. I've had it since this was, now they put the dates on the back of the cover sometimes, and this one they didn't put it on at all. But I feel like this was in the summer, maybe, that this came out. That's just crazy. Book of the month? Why? Why? All right, and the last one I just got for my December pick, and that is Alice Feeney, Beautiful Ugly. I have a couple other Alice Feeneys that I have read that I've really liked. I know people are kind of hit and miss about her, but this is about an author who's having a bad day, and his wife, he's on the phone with his wife in the car, and there's a car crash, and then something leads him to believe that she's somewhere else, that all of a sudden she turns up maybe like a year later and he thinks she's somewhere else. So that is all 25. Again, there's no way I'm holding up this stack. I mean, there's just no way. I, I mean, can I even? No, I can't. I can't. I could maybe hold up some of them. I can't. No, no. I'm gonna stack them though to take photos of them at the end. So it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. It's all fine. So that's all 25 of the books I need to read off my backlist for book of the month. So what will happen is at the end of 2025, if I haven't read some of these, I may end up unhauling them. It's a possibility, or, selling them in some way or giving them away. I don't know. My book of the month club shelf is pretty much full. Now, there are some books on this shelf that do not belong to book of the month because, I like things to be organized in the way that I like them. But thanks for watching today, readers. Let me know how many Book of the Month Club books you haven't read. Maybe it'll make me feel better. Maybe it'll make me feel worse. I don't know. But I would like to know what you got on your backlist. And if there's any of these that interest you, let me know that too. Maybe we could buddy read a few. That's a way for me to stay accountable. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to consider. And I'll obviously consider if that's a book that I'm going to prioritize. I'm going to look at these two and kind of put them in order of what I'm most excited about reading first. So we'll just kind of see how that flies. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks to Book of the Month, even though they're not a sponsor, for filling my shelves with such amazing titles. And as always, happy reading. Bye.